$100%.
From what they
you can't
because your two most talented teams.
You can't give them to them because they didn't.
And they're leaving the conference.
Right, and they're leaving the conference, and then Oklahoma State.
They had look-ahead spots, so I can't give it to Gundy. I like Gundy, but he.
So what? Kansas State? I mean, no.
He's the only other guy. He's the only other guy because obviously those bottom feeders. Dana's gone already. Baylor's got.
I think Neil Brown. If they win, I think
he's almost a slam dunk coach of the year.
Big 12 coach of the year. Unbelievable.
What price could you got that for at the beginning of the year?
Oh, Lord. What price could he
good
because
they're last place. Who's Big Ten coach of the year? The guy from Northwestern? Who else could it be?
Probably
You can't
Iowa.
give it to Harbaugh. He hadn't coached half the season.
What about Iowa?
Yeah, probably Iowa.
Probably Kirk Ferentz. I mean,
probably would be, though.
And then you could watch. They'll probably give it to the guy from Michigan.
I think the guy from Northwestern should get it. I mean, they were so bad. Remember, Fitzgerald got fired like a day before the season started. But no, you're probably right.
I think it'd be Kirk Ferentz. I think definitely Kirk Ferentz.
Get an offensive coordinator. Call Coach Wiley up West Lib. Get your offense cranking.
I'm talking about.
Get Raj on there. All right, Jubb. I know you're sick of this talk. Let's get into it. You got your keys ready?
I do.
All right, let's go to another dimension. Let's go back in time when Miami Hurricanes and the USC Trojans actually got talked about in the college football landscape of championship games.
Yeah, and the Pirates were good.
Well, we got to go way back in time.
79.
BC. All right, ready when you are, Jubb.
2, 1.
Read my lips.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
One small step.
You're out to see the wizard.
We shall fight on the beaches.
Oh, ow. Darn it.
Ouch, I just hit my knee.
Ooh. Who was that?
Wait, that was the guy from
Halloween.
I think we picked her up.
I thought it was that guy in Jabba's, the little guy.
Salacious
Yeah. I thought that was him. All right. Okay, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. The year I left off at, I think it's like 1250. This is November the 28th of 1250. Batu Khan's Mongol army lays siege to Kiev and begin assaulting the city wall with catapults. Kiev falls 8 days later. Well, Kiev's not in a very good state right now either.
Yeah, geez.
But, the Mongol invaders, they were not to be trifled with back
I
in
didn't
those
know
days.
they went that far west.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, Jarrett. These guys back in those days, they were trying to conquer the whole world.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't going to just take a little piece of property and be happy with that. They're taking everything.
Is Mongolia that close to Ukraine?
No. It's a long trek it's a long trek to the west. But the Mongols were in different areas of the world back in those days.
I'm assuming they took.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a little bit. They probably had. I got to look at this now because I'm really curious. Sorry, but I was down in Man, West Virginia, on my maps.
All right, well,
Man and Mongolia
are
very
about
close.
The Mongols.
Oh wow, it's really far.
It's quite a hike.
It's
You're going
right
over mountains.
You have to sail that.
Yeah, it's close to. There's two countries over, but the two countries are Russia and Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is absolutely.
It's a lot of
Kazakhstan
area.
is massive. I didn't realize how big Kazakhstan is.
How long would that take them to get there? That'd take like a year.
And I'm sure they probably occupied a lot of Kazakhstan and Russia, but
yes,
yeah.
I try to reiterate this multiple times during the show because it's incredible to think that all this stuff happened today in history. Like today, if you were back in 1520, Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan begins crossing the Pacific Ocean with 3 ships and is the first European to reach the Pacific while traveling from the Atlantic. And then the next one, Matt, you're and I, our boy.
Yeah,
Cools. Take this next one.
We have a lot of fascinating things on the water today. The next 3, actually. That were the one you just did and 2 more.
Yeah. Cools, go ahead.
November 28th, 1520, Portuguese navigator Ferdinand.
Next one.
Oh, sorry. November 28th, 1717, Blackbeard, a.k.a. Edward Teach or Edward Thatch, attacks and captures a French merchant slave ship, which he renamed as his flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge. You like Blackbeard, don't you, Jubb?
Yeah, I think just his character as he was like the most feared guy on the 7 seas. He was just I mean, he used to light his beard on fire so that people would think that he was some kind of devil coming at you from over the ship. I think that just the history behind him and all those privateers and pirates back in the day.
Yeah,
he sounds like he might be a Philadelphia Eagles
That's
fan.
exactly what I was going to say, Coach. Who would you rather encounter on the high seas, an Eagles fan or the Ed Teach?
How didn't he burn his face off?
So he would wrap his beard and he would like put out, you know how people like curl their mustache out like real wide?
Mm-hmm.
He would curl his beard out real wide and real thin strands, and I think he would put little pieces of something in his beard and tie it off, and then he would light it on fire so it wouldn't catch on fire. It would smolder, and the smoke would be around his face.
How do you fight with that?
I don't know. I don't
He
think
looked like he was not of this earth when he would do that.
Yeah.
Scary intimidation tactics.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Blackbeard's a couple facts here. His father was Edward Thatch Sr. Let me see. Edward Thatch Sr. was a mariner and moved to Bristol after his marriage and his first two children, Edward Blackbeard and Elizabeth. He later remarried after the death of his wife and had 3 children after Blackbeard. And then this one here. Blackbeard married a local girl when he settled for a time before his death in North Carolina. It's funny to think he died in North Carolina.
Yeah. Right on the Outer Banks.
They had a daughter called Elizabeth who later died young with
Blackbeard's
no
treasure still hasn't been found if you guys want to go hunt.
Maybe that's the next.
That would be.
That's our next vlog.
I think isn't that
People have been
supposed
looking
to be,
for it all over.
That's supposed to be Outer Banks season 4, I think.
Oh, that's
Cool,
whose treasure they're looking for?
I think so.
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
Probably.
Yeah. If
That
you
Outer
watch
Banks
that-
show's got
Yeah.
Ed Teach
Yeah.
on Ed
Yeah.
Thatch or whatever you
Yeah.
would
They're
prefer.
looking for Blackbeard's treasure.
Those
Yeah.
kids won't last a day.
No.
No.
Rich yuppies.
What's the
yeah.
chance it's
Yeah,
all washed away?
Season 3 was very lackluster, but I've said this before on here, and it's probably such it's me saying this is such a dumb thing, but I think being a pirate back then would be so cool. Like I think that going around the Caribbean islands, I think is just like so neat to me.
I mean, aside from being horrifically dirty.
Well, and that's
Yeah, I
what
was
I,
gonna say
that's
that.
what I
You
was
guys
gonna
ever
say.
watched
It's
the show
scurvy.
Black Sails before?
Uh-uh.
I recommend it if you like pirates. Really,
Really?
really good. It's on Stars, yeah.
Ooh,
there
okay.
you go.
It's a good watch. I'm telling you, they got all these guys in there. You'll hear about Benjamin Hornigal and Blackbeard and all the guys. So Charles Vane. I mean, they got them all. All right, next one, Jarrett. You want to keep up with the pirates?
Yes, let's
Look, there
go.
you go.
Let's go, Bucks here. 1720. Anne Bonny and Mary Reed are tried, found guilty of pirating, and sentenced to death in Jamaica. However, their discovered pregnancies win them a stay of execution.
How about that? I
Pretty-
gotta tip my cap
Yeah,
to
I
the
was gonna
pirates
say,
right
that's-
there. Actually, in this case, they were actually civilized people that captured them, so they weren't really other pirates. They would have been people from most likely Britain or somewhere in Europe that would try them and then they would execute them. But no, they didn't do it. They did the right thing, let them live. Good for them.
Good
All right,
for
we
the
moved to
pirates.
1895. Speaking of fans, America's first auto race is organized by the Chicago Times-Herald, which is I don't know if that's still the paper in Chicago or not.
I think maybe they have the Sun and the Times-Herald.
Yeah, I think maybe they do. 6 cars. Boy, it must have been a thriller. Listen to these facts. 55-mile race from Chicago to Evanston. So it must have been a straight shot. And it was won by Frank Doria, who traveled at an average speed of, this is incredible, 7 miles an hour. Total race time, 7 hours and 53
Oh,
minutes.
my gosh.
Boy, that must have
Why
been
were they so slow?
That'd have been fun for the spectators.
People think NASCAR races are long now. I mean, can you imagine it?
Well, the thing about it is they only went 55 miles. In NASCAR, it'd take, like, Coach, we go to Bristol,
Jeez
it's
Louise.
a 15-second half mile. So
Yeah.
you're getting that done in a half an hour.
Yeah, I looked this up. The Chicago Times-Herald is no longer a thing.
Okay.
It was a newspaper in Chicago from 1854 to 95, and then it merged with the Chicago Herald to become the Chicago Times-Herald, and then this disappeared in 1901 when it merged with the Chicago Record to become the Chicago Record Herald.
So,
So I guess
it's a
technically,
Record Herald now?
Technically, I guess
Because I
it
know they got
is,
the
yeah.
Sun, too.
Yeah, the
Wonder
Record
who owned
Herald.
that.
Oh, no, and then
William Randolph Hearst.
The Record Herald was from 1901 to 1914, and then I don't know what it went from there. The Morning Herald.
Yeah.
What is Herald? What is
Harold
that? Is that
Varner.
a newspaper or a
Yeah.
name? or-
H-E-R, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of papers called Herald.
Hark the Herald Angels
Yeah.
sing.
Divine Intervention. I don't know.
What was that
Hark
like?
the
Herald
Angels
Angels.
Does that mean-
Hey,
sing?
speaking of that,
Does
we'll
that
be
mean-
doing that on the Christmas party
yes.
day.
That's right.
Does that mean all the angels are named Harold?
No.
That sounds like something out
Henry.
of the Three Stooges would say. Harold, fire at will, and then
Yeah.
fire at Harold. All right, keeping it going with another Bonnie here. Skip one. November 28, 1933, a Dallas grand jury delivers a murder indictment against Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow for the January killing of Tarrant County Deputy Malcolm Davis. Bonnie and Parker going through towns, killing people, bank heists. That had to be fun while it lasted. But,
Oh, man. I think there was a movie about those, too,
yeah, I
wasn't
think
there?
so, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. They were pretty crazy.
All right, who's
Before we
got
go
the
to
next
break,
job?
1943, Franklin Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, and Joseph Stalin meet at the Tehran Conference to map out strategies for the defeating of the Axis powers.
That's so cool.
Isn't that amazing?
That's
though?
awesome.
Now, you're meeting in Iran, which, that's not a country that we have good relations with right now, and we shouldn't because they're barbarians. But you got FDR and Churchill meeting with one of the guys who was just about as brutal as Hitler. Stalin, he killed more of his own people than actually Hitler did. But, I mean, he doesn't get the notoriety because it was all pretty much kept, the Russians hide secrets pretty well. But Stalin came to the plate here in, his couple of the key battles that were fought along the Russian lines were the key, changed the whole momentum of the war.
They're like the Avengers. They're like a superhero movie. Yeah. All right. There you go.
So I don't know what Stalin's powers were. So
Yeah.
sending his own people to the gulag.
All
All right,
cool.
got a couple more before we go to break.
Yeah, here, I'll hit this one. 1974, baseball commissioner Bowie. This is
Bowie.
Bowie Kuhn.
Bowie Kuhn, okay. Suspends Yankees owner George Steinbrenner for 2 years following his federal conviction for illegal political campaign contributions.
Steinbrenner was a big Republican. I know he's donated a lot.
What a guy
I
he
didn't realize
was.
that happened, though.
Georgie.
All right, cool. Let's finish this up.
All right, November 28th, 1994, convicted serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer was clubbed to death by a fellow inmate in a gym at the Columbia Institution in Portage, Wisconsin.
How about that?
I'm sure nobody shed a tear over that death.
No.
No, I think
They might have let that guy out after that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he was in there for something really,
Yeah,
really good,
if he
too.
was with Dahmer,
Yeah,
he wasn't in there for petty
Nice
larceny.
guy.
He didn't steal a pack of gum.
Right. He didn't steal a car like Charlie Butts. But all right, we're going to take a break. Pine Room on the Watchdog. We're going to come back, and I think it's time for some games, something we haven't done in a while. It's game time with Jubb. Pine Room on the Watchdog on a Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Did you know you're everything I prayed for? Did you know every night and day for?
All right, welcome back in. Pine Room on the Watchdog, 2 o'clock hour, sponsored exclusively by our friends at IC Cab, serving the Ohio Valley for all your transportation needs. And not just the Ohio Valley, actually, they go all over the region, so be sure and get in touch with IC Cab today. Corporate transportation and courier services also available. Arrange your ride today, 304-232-1313, or download that trusty IC Cab app. IC Cab, always working. Thanks to Phil and everybody over there at IC Cab for doing what they do. Coach, you had a first-hand experience last Wednesday with them.
My wife and I called him up early on and arranged for him to be there at a certain time, and Michael showed up right on time. Nice, clean car, lots of room. Great ride down, very, very reasonable price. Michael was a great guy. I can't say enough about it. They dropped us off right in front of River City.
And you had no worries the rest of the night.
No worry about parking, no worry about traffic. Just sat back, relaxed, had a nice chat with him, and dropped us off right in front. Highly recommend IC Cab, man. That's the way to go. I'm going to be using it a lot more. For the price, you can't go wrong, especially if you're out having a few beverages. Don't take the chance.
No.
Call IC Cab and do the right thing and save yourself a lot of money.
The holidays are coming. You don't want to have to spend money on that.
But I will say you better call them early or get on the app because they're going to be really, really busy when the holidays hit.
They're
hard.
in demand. Yep.
They are. Great people. So great job to Phil, and thank you to IC Cab for being a partner of the Pine Room and the Watchdog. You guys are great. Tate Blanchard and Phil Savaggio and all the drivers. So thanks to them, and we truly appreciate it and continue to support them.
Yes, they do a wonderful job, and they will continue. So get on that IC Cab app today or give them a call, 304-232-1313. A couple other reminders. We got Mountain East basketball tomorrow. West Liberty takes on West Virginia Wesleyan. D&E will be at Wheeling. Coach will be in attendance there. And then our Nailers are in action tomorrow against the Indy Fuel on the road. And then back home for Friday, Frosty Friday. Jarrett's ready already against the Toledo Walleye. So we'll talk plenty of Nailers on Friday's show. Recap the game on Wednesday and get ready with Isaac Basinger on Nailing It Down. And then don't forget Mike Florio in the 1:35 hour on Friday. Job, you want to do birthdays before we go into the game time? Or
sure, absolutely.
Since we neglected our poor birthday folks.
Yeah, we should not miss. Coach, consult the tone before we get into the birthdays.
Yes.
I don't think he's listening.
Consult the tone.
Do we have any family or friends?
Oh,
birthdays?
yeah. Actually, yes. We have a family birthday coming up. Wait. I was just looking at this today. No. I beg forgiveness. We do not have anything.
Okay. We had Dana last week,
in
right?
the birthday group coming up. No. Next week's a big week. For
All right. Well, then we'll save it for then.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Who do we have on the birthday list this week?
All right. We got Barry Gordy. He turns 94. Ed Harris, good actor. 73. Dave Righetti, former pitcher for the
Rags.
Giants. Yep. 65. Jon Stewart. What's his show called? The Comedy Central show. What's that called? I don't know. I don't like it. Marc-Andre Fleury, former Penguin, former Vegas Golden Knight, current Wild, turns 39. And then Mary Elizabeth Winstead, married to Ewan McGregor, and she was in the Ahsoka show.
Yeah,
Played
she
the
was.
General, what was her name? Can't remember it.
Oh, yeah,
anyway,
can't remember her name.
good job. Yeah, talented actress. So
All
those
right.
are our birthdays among the living today.
Cooley, who are our deceased birthdays today?
We got William Blake, 1827.
Do you know what he was?
I have no idea.
He was a poet and artist.
Oh, awesome.
See if
Was he
Coles
a
knows
po-
any of these.
was
ones.
he a
I don't
poet and didn't
any
know
of
it?
them.
You know the next
You
one,
know
right?
that. You got to know this.
Anna
one.
Nicole Smith, 2007. No idea.
Supermodel. And
Super-
she
oh,
ended
nice.
up
I
being
wish I
a
would've met
mess.
her.
Yeah.
Anton Rubinstein,
Yeah.
1894, and then my favorite one, Henry Bacon, 1924.
Do you know what Henry Bacon
He
did?
invented bacon.
Yeah, he's a big bacon guy.
He was an architect.
Oh,
He was
Yeah.
born in Watseka, Illinois.
oh, sweet.
There you go. Yeah. So those are your birthdays today. Cooley, if you're planning on getting married today in history, here's who you're going to be sharing it with, just in case you want to know.
Okay, I was planning on it.
It's really important. Today would be the day you would pick.
Just in case you want to get married today, Cools, you never know. But, I think you should know this. So you would be sharing a wedding today with William Shakespeare. He was 18 when he married Anne Hathaway, not the actress. Of course, she would be very old if that was the case.
Yes.
They married in 1582. Raymond Dart, he was an Australian paleoanthropologist. He married a South African librarian, Marjorie Gordon Frew, in 1936. Here we go. This is a huge one for you, Cools. Jiang Qing and Mao Zedong, the 1938 Chinese politician Zedong, or Mao Zedong, weds Jing Qing in a small private ceremony. And then one lady I do not like at all, and I think she broke the most famous band of all time up, Yoko Ono, marries in 1962 to American musician and film producer.
Happy anniversary! Happy anniversary! Happy anniversary!
There you go.
I think Kissel sings better than Yoko Ono.
Definitely. You ever hear her sing?
Yeah, she's horrible.
She goes, ah! Chuck Norris, he got married today. He married Gina O'Kelly. And, of course, Chucky, he stays married. He's still with her, married in 1998.
Chuck's the man.
Quentin Tarantino got married today in 2018, married singer and model Danielle Pick in Los Angeles, California. And we have no divorces today.
Jeez.
So there you go.
That's
Well, I'm assuming there are divorces today.
Just nobody
not
too
notable
famous.
here on here.
If today was your anniversary of your divorce, we wish you a happy one.
Yes, hopefully you're doing
Hopefully
well.
life is better.
Hopefully it was for the best.
Yes.
Lola would say that's time for celebration.
Yeah. All right. Well, and then we can't continue to some games without first bringing down the mood a little bit. So we got a couple on the list here. Those we're going to bid farewell to. Gian Lorenzo Bernini. He was an Italian Baroque sculptor, painter, and architect. I actually learned about a bit of him in art history in college. Louis de Bois de Frontenac. He was a French soldier and governor, general of the New France. Frederick Wilhelm von Steuben. He was a Prussian-American military officer and Major General of the Continental Army. He died at 64. Washington Irving, an American author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I know a lot of people love Sleepy Hollow. Dies of a heart attack in 78 at 76. He died in 1859. James Naismith, he was a Canadian-American physical educator and inventor of basketball and the football helmet. He dies at 78. Enrico Fermi, he was an Italian-American nuclear physicist, gone fission, fermium, and he died at 53. And Wilhelmina of the Netherlands, she was the queen of the Netherlands. She dies at 82. Enid Blyton, American children's writer, the fifth most popular author in the world.
What was her big children's book? I remember her name.
So there was Famous Five, Secret Seven, and The Adventure. And she dies at 71. Her name is Enid Blyton. Yeah, she did a lot of good stuff with children's books. Over 50 books in a year. I guess she was a pretty good writer.
I'd say.
And we say good riddance to Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
He
gets mentioned twice on the show today.
Right. He's not worth either one of those.
Beaten to death by a barbell or
I
something.
should play a cheering soundtrack on there. But there you go. There's our deaths today in history, which is pretty significant. But
Jubb, what's your favorite children's book of all time?
Good Night Moon.
That's on my list.
Or the Wild Things
or The Giving Tree.
The Giving Tree is also. I looked up this list. Another one I like, the Caterpillar one.
Big Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
I know my kids' books. All right, let's
what
play
about
a little
Green
bit of
Eggs
games.
and Ham?
I don't like Sam I Am.
What?
He was a bit of a snob.
Nobody has ever
He
said
said
that.
he
What
did
about
not want green eggs and ham. I do not want them, Sam I Am.
What about Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus?
Nah, he was a cocky pigeon. Here we go. We're playing games. It's time. We're going to play the initial game again because it was the easiest to put together. And I had one from a couple weeks ago that we didn't use. I think we had a couple guests that we didn't get to this game yet. But here we go. Cools, you should be able to get at least one of these. And this spans several genres over.
Just him or any of us?
I'm just yeah.
He pretty much just said, "Cool, you're the dumbest one." Here.
Oh, jeez.
All right, here we go. If seasons were suit jackets, snowbirds would do this before a wedding or a funeral. The initial DS. If seasons were suit jackets, snowbirds would do this before a wedding or a funeral. Next. Well, the initial is DS. Next. All right. Every May, these pack the streets in Cincinnati to salute their fallen comrade from Brownsville, Texas. The initial G. Every May, these pack the streets in Cincinnati to commemorate their fallen comrade from Brownsville, Texas. The initial G. And then we go to the next clue. Trains, early 1900s homes, and river barges are prone to this act of crime around the clock. The initial CS. Trains, early 1900s homes, and river barges were and are prone to this act of crime around the clock. The initial CS. And I'll give you a hint. Two of these are a solo artist. One of them is a band.
Oh, boy.
Man.
I don't even know what's going
All
on.
right, so cool.
Yeah, cool.
All right, go through the game again,
Let me. I guess you haven't been here for this, so I guess I didn't. I usually explain at the beginning of this. So I read those clues. The initials are either a band or an artist, like a musician. So, for instance, one of them was a couple weeks ago. There's metal floating in the ocean, and on high tide, these come crashing to the shore. And it is Rod Wave.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Okay, so this one is, if seasons were suit jackets, snowbirds would do this before a wedding or a funeral, the initial DS. The second one, every May, these pack the streets in Cincinnati to salute their fallen comrade from Brownsville, Texas, the initial G. And then finally, trains, early 1900s homes, and river barges are prone to this act of crime around the clock, the initial CS. So I'm going to let you stew on that. Let you stew on that for now. And since we got a couple minutes left, we'll let your brain kind of relax, and then during the break, we'll let you think about it. If you think you know some answers to those,
We need help.
please text in 304-717-7927. And if you are right in at least two of these, we will get your info.
Give you a
and
sports car.
Yeah, well, I wish we had one of those. We'll give you a
I
bottle.
didn't say
opener.
what size it would be. It'd be a little
Hot
micro
wheel.
machine. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So while those are stewing in your brains, let's do a little quiz for this week in history, because we're on the history train. Let's do a little quiz.
Jarrett, you got any of these?
No, do you?
No.
I'm not even close on
No.
any of them.
I'm
just-
bothering. The second one I should be able to get, and I don't.
They
Yeah.
packed the streets in Cincinnati to
Salute their fallen comrade
from Brownsville,
Texas.
I was trying to think of people
All
from
right,
Brownsville,
just
Texas.
think about
with
since-
blue.
Think about what significant events have. Oh boy, I'm gonna sneeze.
Gazoo type.
I'm good. Think about what significant events happened in Cincinnati in the past.
Oh no!
In the past
Bless you.
decade. In the past
Anything
decade.
happened in Cincinnati in the
Yes,
past
a very
decade?
big event. Probably one of the biggest events to come out of Cincinnati,
Johnny Cueto.
and that people still talk about it today.
Wow. I'm gonna have to really stew on this one.
All right. Let's do a little quiz. Who is the archaeologist who discovered the opened tomb of Tutankhamun, a.k.a. King Tut?
Do you have a
I'll give you the hint.
multiple choice? Hang
Yeah.
on. Was it Lord Carnarvon?
It is not.
Okay. Well, I thought it was him.
Good.
It's incredible you even had to guess.
All right, let me.
If they have multiple choice, if not, I might
let
be able to get
Let me
it.
cue this up so we get a little bit of track. Here we go. So it's either Heinrich Schliemann, Flinders Petrie, Howard Carter, or Hiram Bingham.
Oh boy. Man.
Give me Fling.
It's either the first or the last.
I'm
one.
going to say Flanders Petrie because
Yeah,
he's
or-
related to Jeff.
Wait, what was the second guy's name? Flanders?
Fielders Petrie.
Fielders.
Prince Fielder.
Yeah, give me Fielders.
It is
I had no
Howard
idea.
Carter.
Okay.
What film starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman was released in 1942? Was it The Maltese Falcon, Casablanca, The Big Sheep, or Notorious?
Casablanca.
It is Casablanca.
Yeah.
It
I
is
was gonna say
Casablanca.
Casablanca.
What is the first commercially successful video game launched this week in 1972? Was it the Mario Brothers, Space Invaders, Pong, or Pac-Man?
Pong.
I'm gonna say Pong. 72 seems way too
I'm
early
saying
for all
Pac-Man.
that. I'm gonna go
Cools?
Pong.
Pac-Man.
It was Pong.
Yeah.
Come on, coach.
True or
I
false?
stink.
In 1954, a woman in Alabama became the first person to be hit by a meteor and survive. True or false?
I say
False.
true.
True.
I think we learned from our one friend from Ogleby that like, a piece of that could hit you. It maybe not kill you if it
I'm
hit you in the
saying
right spot.
false.
Cools?
True. Maybe it like blew an arm off and that was it.
It is true. She
Wow.
survived.
There you go, fools. That's
Right.
what I
When
was
did it
thinking.
hit her?
As long as it didn't hit her in the head,
Yeah,
she
it
might
hit
have
right
a
in the
chance.
hand or something.
Here,
Right.
hit her in
Lost
the
her
foot.
arm.
One of Champ's heroes. When Hugh Hefner launched Playboy magazine in 1953, which actress was its first centerfold? Was it Betty Grable, Bridget Bardot, Doris Day, or Marilyn Monroe?
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, yeah.
Oh.
Bridget Bardot.
It was Marilyn Monroe. What did activist Rosa Parks do in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955? Was it refused to move to the back of the bus, led a march, managed to vote despite opposition, or insisted on being served by a whites-only shop?
Jeez, I even know that one.
As the song says.
What was that today in history?
Today in history.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Actually, no, I think it was
This week. This week,
Oh,
because it
okay.
wasn't today.
Yeah.
I would have had that one on there.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
All right. What was the name of physicist Erwin Schrödinger's famous thought experiments published in 1935?
Oh, yeah, Schrodinger's box.
Was it Schrödinger's hat, Schrödinger's rat, Schrödinger's bat, or Schrödinger's cat?
Schrodinger's cat is what it is.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
It was Schrödinger's cat.
Yeah. Did you look up that? After you have a second, look that up. And
It's
an
fascinating.
incredible,
Schrödinger's
mind-blowing
Yes. So
thing.
the way
this
that
up.
the way that Schrödinger's cat works is that you put a cat inside of a box. I think I'm correct on that.
Yes.
He basically says, without having prior knowledge that cat is inside that box, how do you as a human being know that cat is inside of that box and still present in reality?
In quantum mechanics, Schrödinger's cat is a thought experiment, sometimes described as a paradox of quantum superposition. In the thought experiment, a hypothetical cat may be considered simultaneously both alive and dead while it is unobserved in a closed
I was
box.
wrong.
As
Oh,
a
no,
result
okay.
of its,
No, you were.
as a result of its fate being linked to a random subatomic event that may or may not occur. So basically you have to put together your thought like that cat is in the box. Wow.
Job, you gave it in a more layman's terms
Yeah.
way, which people should be able to understand.
If you take time to look
think
into
about that, though, keep trying to think about it.
it really messes with your head.
Wait,
if
so
you
it's
It's
saying
a parallel dimension.
you don't know if it's actually alive or dead just because it's in the box?
Yeah, you have no idea.
Wait.
But what are you going to believe?
There's a picture that
That's
says
like
Schrödinger.
if a tree
All right,
fell.
in simple terms, Schrödinger stated that if you place a cat and something that could kill the cat, a radioactive atom, in a box and sealed it, you would not know if the cat was dead or alive until you opened the box. So that until the box was open, the cat was, in a sense, both alive and dead.
Yeah, wow.
So no matter what, it's basically it's a no-win scenario.
Yeah.
It's either live or dead, and you wouldn't
Right.
know until you open.
So you could put me in a room, close all the doors, shut the
You
lights
don't know
off,
when he died.
and step out of the room. You have no idea in that moment whether I'm alive or dead.
Yeah, Jub, this says Schrödinger's cat, a flask of poison in a radioactive source connected to a Geiger counter or placed in a sealed box. As illustrated, the objects are in a state of superposition. The cat is both dead and alive.
There you go.
It's fascinating.
Fascinating stuff. All right, a couple more questions here. Which English king
like that.
who came to the throne in 1016 supposedly tried to command an incoming tide? Was it Alfred the Great, Edward the Confessor, King Canute, or William the Conqueror?
Willie
It was either Edward or William.
I'm going William.
Willie Conqueror.
William.
I'd say I'm leaning William the Conqueror, but something tells me it might have been Edward.
It was King Canute.
Wait, English king?
Is it Nut or Canut?
I think it's C-A-N-U-T
Oh,
C-A-N-U-T-E. Canute.
I don't know why I'm not that familiar with him.
Because he was in Cools. You familiar with Canute? He is in Vinland Saga.
What was the year again on that one?
Deep.
1016.
Okay, yeah, a little bit after the era of Uhtred and those the Danes invading.
Yeah.
So okay,
All right. Well, let's. We want to take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and we'll answer the questions of the initial.
We
that's
have
what
no idea.
everybody in our listening audience is pulled over their car right now trying to figure this out. And we hope that after the break, somebody can help us out. 304-717-7927, the Pine Room text line. And we're going to take a quick break and come back with the answers to Jub's song, or actually band / artist riddles. It's the Pine Room on the Watchdog on a Tuesday, sponsored by IC Cab. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back.
Can take it away. It's been so long
All right, Pine Room on the Watchdog on a Tuesday afternoon. Remember, this hour of the show is sponsored by IC Cab, our wonderful friends, serving the Ohio Valley and all the surrounding areas with all your transportation needs. Corporate transportation, courier services are also available. Arrange your ride today, 232-304-232-1313, or the IC Cab app. IC Cab, always working.
Who was it recently that took an icy cab to the airport? I think it was somebody that we know. Took a cab to the airport and went on a trip for wintertime. Could be wrong on that, but
well,
I'm
sure it was a wonderful experience.
I think it was not too bad on price, and I mean, judging from your guys' ride from our house to West Banco or to River City, that's surely a better price than putting a few coins in the
and not having to worry about your car being covered in snow when you come back from Florida. There's not many worse things than that, and Cooley can probably relate. You come back from Florida, your car's covered in ice in the parking lot at the Pittsburgh airport. You're wearing shorts, and if you were smart enough, a hoodie that you had on your carry-on, and you got to go scrape your windshield with a credit card. It's fun times. Call IC Cab today, 304-232-1313.
I saw a horrific idea for a product. Some guy put, those rubber bags that you see in cartoons that they put ice in and they put on your head and they wrap it around like it's got like a cap on it.
Yeah. Like the old ice bags.
Yeah, somebody put hot water in that and made it like a product. Like you put hot water in that, you rub your windshield with it. And it was the worst thing ever because in the commercial, all it was like in the morning when you get like a little layer of frost that's not actually frozen on there. And they wiped that off like that was like 4 layers of solid ice.
And when it's deeply cold, that can actually work against you with the hot water on the windshield. It freezes quickly, and then it becomes thicker.
I tell you, there's not much worse when it's early in the morning and there's like a couple inches of snow in your car and you got to wipe it off and it gets on your feet or in your shoes.
I like a couple feet of snow, but
when it gets on your sleeve, that's the worst.
Sleeves in your sock.
Talking about sleeves. What's more worse than if you had worser? What's worse than having a long sleeve shirt on and you wash your hands and you get that
wet sleeves?
Dude,
touches against you. That is really an awful feeling.
Oh, if you have this one, when you if you wash your face and you splash water and it gets on the neck of your shirt.
Terrible.
Yep.
What about wet socks, Job?
Nothing worse in the world.
Yeah, that's
Up in a
bad.
puddle.
I would say wet socks and having to be in dirty sheets would be the two worst outcomes that anyone could ever. Like that should be in like the Geneva Convention if you can't have wet socks.
Man, I always think of you when I change the bed now because I know how much.
Yeah, me and Jeff
it.
Doyle talked about that up at the Pine Room extensively. That first night when you change the sheets,
oh my goodness,
it's incredible. It's just like a cleanness that you just can't describe.
Pillowcases are just
crisp. Everything
nice
just feels great. You sleep better.
Yeah.
You do.
And then wet socks. Is there anything worse than wet socks?
Yeah, that's
kind of like
a tough one.
that'll like ruin your next
ruin your whole day. If you had to go to work and you had wet socks all day, can't be productive in that.
That's a tough one.
I would go. I'd like send somebody or I'd leave and go get socks. Yeah,
call off and go home.
Yeah,
try again tomorrow.
All
right. Before we give our answers to our quiz, Dan.
Hello,
he's
Dan.
On the line.
Dan the Monkey Man.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes,
Got
we can.
you loud and clear.
Okay, back in 2011, 12, or 13, we had a real cold spell, okay? I'm working up at Warwood. I lived on North 17th Street, okay? And they showed a guy on TV. He took a mug of coffee and he threw it in the air, and it froze, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
Well, me being a rocket scientist I am, I go outside, I threw a cup of water. Guess what happens?
It came down.
The door shut behind me. I had to walk all the way to North 17th Street because my keys were inside the building, the car keys. So I had to wait till because we had to be there at different times because the pipes could freeze. And I had to wait for the next guy to come to work, and I had to walk back to work without my keys.
Oh, my Lord.
Cold walk.
Oh, man.
Dude, it was a cold walk. But I want to tell you about the kindest sports fans I ever met, okay?
All right,
New York Yankees, just real quick, and I'll let you go. I know you got a lot of important things to do. New York Yankees game, okay? My daughter and I go there, and we meet this older gentleman and this young girl. And my daughter says, "This is my dad," and the girl says, "This is my dad." So we're sitting there, and, the beer are like $15 a piece. And right about Sweet Caroline, this guy's making out with this girl. That must have been code for this is my sugar daddy.
Oh,
Hey,
my.
might I tell you, I didn't buy another beer the whole time I was there because this guy was just so off, he was so embarrassed that he's, told me that's his daughter. Yeah. So Yankees are the kind of sports fans. Now, I told you yesterday about the Jets fans, how nasty they were, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, they were pretty nasty. But when you walk into a game and everybody and, all the state police outside have machine guns, that should tell you something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
In
I'll say.
Rutherford,
It's a red
you know?
flag.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're pretty rough up there.
Hey, Dan, I got a question for you.
Yes.
When's the last time the river froze over?
River hasn't. You know what? The river it's been years since the river froze because it's kind of low now. You know what I mean? Those guys used to say they used to walk across it, but it's been a while. I mean, it freezes up like a little bit, like mud puddles, but it's never really frozen up.
Wait, has it been completely frozen
Yes.
where you
Yeah.
can walk across
Well,
it?
I don't know about walk across, but it
it's
has been
froze.
frozen.
Yeah, I
over.
remember back in '78 when they canceled school. I don't know, for 2 weeks. It was like, and then back in '93 when my daughter was born, the river. I lived on the island. The river was froze then.
I remember that.
Yeah, I don't.
You could actually walk. Yeah, you could walk across that river. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a little risky, but I do remember one time in my life that the river froze over. But that's a really weird thing to see. A river totally frozen over. But I guess Slobovia, you could probably walk over to Warwood.
Well, actually, what we do is when the river freezes, we have these things like bumper boats. They're in a circle and they're like little hover around things, and we have bumper car races out there.
Oh, wow.
That sounds
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Can we bet on that?
It's come to Slobovia.
Okay.
We're willing to have you leave your wallet on the island because you'll lose it in the river.
Perfect.
That was
Wow.
beautiful. I'm
was
going to start
touching.
crying.
Wow.
Touching.
What's old and what's new? We have a lot of new things there too. We change decor every 6 months. It's in the Christmas season right now. We're going to be actually, before we put up the Christmas decorations, we're going straight to Hanukkah.
Oh, wow.
What, Dan,
Because that's what-
for Christmas, on Solovia, do the kids wish to Santa Claus, or is it like the corn monster?
Well, there's actually three. There's a corn monster, there's Santa Claus, and then we have a guy by the name of Hanukkah Harry.
Oh.
Wow.
He's an old Jewish guy, and he wears a blue costume and he has a Rolex and gold chains and everything. He's really, really cool.
Hey, Dan, what's your favorite Christmas song?
Dominic, the Italian Christmas Donkey. And then my other favorite song is Oh, Holy Night.
Oh,
the
that's a
stars
good one.
are
Oh,
bright. I just
boy.
love that brings it-
Boy, he can
brings-
sing.
Yeah.
Beautiful voice, Dan.
brings it-
Were you in a choir when you were in school?
No, I was usually in detention or ISS. Greg Geekus, he used to have a band, and he used to play he'd sit there and whittle, and he would whistle along, and he would say, Vatans, you get up and sing and dance for me. So I would sing and dance for him, and he would be often happy. He would be eating peaches. He used to eat whole peaches at one time. Greatest man ever knew.
He was great. When I
Wonderful.
see him again, I'm going to tell him you said hello.
He had this trick, and he would stand in his doorway, and he would wait for me to walk by, or a couple of us to walk by, and he'd have the lights out, and he would just reach them big arms and grab you and pull you in there and just give you a little bit of loving. That's what I call it, loving. It was usually a forearm to the head or to the back or whatever.
Choke hold.
A chokehold, yeah. So this is what I did one time. I had a bright idea that he was in there sitting. I was going to turn out the lights, and I was going to bum rush him, about 6 of us. He threw me over the desk, and next thing I know, there's a desk landing on top of me. And you know what? That was the best love I had that whole year.
Yes, you'll
No
never
doubt.
forget it.
Well, we, as always, Dan, we appreciate you calling in. You just
I
right on show
I
up.
appreciate all you guys do. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for the monkeys.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I got plenty more. 68 was the year of the monkey, so I got all kinds of monkeys sitting around. But
Wow.
I'm going to bring you down the Scary Monkey. Scary Monkey, he's 110 years old. He's a stuffed animal, and they called him a monkey bear. And he got a leash around his neck because he tries to run off. So I'll bring him down here. He's a pretty cool one. I think you'll be a good watcher for him.
All right.
Hey, we're the
we
monkeys.
appreciate it, Dan.
Wow.
Hey, later, guys.
All right.
What insight that was.
Wow. Dan just
I didn't think anybody could out-sing Kissel on the show.
No.
Dan gave him a run.
wow.
Dan has a very nice voice.
All right, Job. What
All
do we
right,
got?
I think it's time.
Oh, time to reveal these. Well, Jarrett thinks he got one.
I definitely have one.
Well, I
The other
was
two,
waiting here because I thought we got a text from Carl with a K, and he wanted a little fact about history. But for now, we'll go into our.
Carl's pretty sharp on the music, though.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be all
So here
over
we
these.
go. If seasons were suit jackets, snowbirds would do this before a wedding or funeral, and the initials were DS. Anybody?
No idea, Job.
I don't
Maybe-
get the seasons were suit
If
jackets.
the seasons were suit jackets,
Fall, winter, summer.
I mean,
spring.
I thought it was summer. Dawn of summer was what I was going to. Is that what it is? But I have no idea how.
it is dawn
Dawn
of
of
summer.
summer? That was total luck because it was
Because
DS.
think about it, if seasons
Dawn
are
of
suit jacket,
summer?
you're going
I
to
got
dawn
it.
of
I
summer.
got it. Well, after I said it, I was like dawn of. Yeah, I got
There
it.
you go.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you were going to dawn a summer.
Yep.
don't
No,
even
you're
know
right.
Dawn of
That's a
Summer.
good one.
Yeah, she got some good tunes.
Cooley, this was right in your era. Rodney would have danced to this.
Yeah.
He would have danced to anything out to the Nailer game.
There you go.
Yeah, you would have.
All right, so dawn of summer. Good work, Matt.
All right.
All right.
Come
So
on.
there's
Glad to get
there's
on
your
the
first
board.
one. All right, next one. Every May, these pack the streets in Cincinnati to salute their fallen comrade from Brownsville, Texas. And the initial was G.
And this was a band.
This is a band.
The only band I could come up with the G was Genesis, but I couldn't figure out how that would fit. So
I'll give you a hint. It's an early 2000s band that still puts out music, and they're very, very, very famous.
Jarrett, you gotta get this. G.
One word,
I'm sure I'm
and I'll
we're all
give you
gonna
a
know
hint. It was and the fallen comrade fell at a zoo.
Gorillas.
Oh,
Yep.
yes, that's a good.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Darn gorillas.
Gorillas?
It's Gorillas because Harambe.
Harambe.
And
is-
I didn't even think.
I was not thinking of that
Wait,
at all.
what about Brownsville, Texas? What's
Harambe
that?
is from Brownsville, Texas.
Right, there you go.
He is?
Yeah,
Gorillas.
Since when was Harambe from Texas?
I
band.
just found it on
Harambe.
Wikipedia, I think.
I like
Oh.
that Clint Eastwood.
All right, and then Jarrett thinks he has this last
do have
one,
this
so let me cue it up and let me get
Is this a
ready
country
for
guy?
you. So,
Yes.
trains, early 1900s homes, and river barges are prone to this act of crime around the clock, and the initial is CS. Jarrett, let's see if the guys can get it. And then
I don't really. I'm trying to think of country singers other than Chris Stapleton with the CS.
That's what I was
but,
gonna say, Chris.
but that
oh wow,
wouldn't
that's
work.
not.
But
That's
that
a
wouldn't
good
work.
guess,
But
yeah.
that I was
a
like
good
that.
guess.
That can't make it any sense to me.
Charlie, Clint.
all right, think
Chuck-
of
how
what, now,
modern
hold
is this
on,
guy?
hold
Is this
on.
guy still operating today?
Carl.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Think of what do trains, and I mentioned during the break that steam trains.
Chug.
Steam trains, early 1900s home, and river barges. What do they all have in common? What do they carry, or what do they use? Or
Cole.
Yep.
Cole Swindell.
Yeah.
Jeez. Boy, that was a. There you go, good one. Because I kept thinking, what mineral is he talking? Yeah.
Hey,
It was
Cole
karaoke.
Swindell.
All right.
Swindle the coal.
I
You
was
swindle
not
the
even.
coal.
I wasn't close. I might have been farther away than Cooley was, and he wasn't even in the.
But Cools, you
Arena.
understand the game?
Yeah, I get it now.
I
after you
expect a
explained
better
it.
showing next time.
Oh, that was terrible.
That was good. That was good. We
hard.
normally
Yeah, that was really a hard one this
you
week.
guys
Coal
are a little
swindling.
rusty. Coal swindling, Gorillas, and Donna Summers. Donna
Good job,
Summer.
Job.
All
Quite,
right.
You're quite the educator. I like it. Good job, educating the people.
I don't know
out
how useful that
there.
education
No, I think it's very
is, but-
useful. Between your game right there and Dan calling in, I mean, people are enlightened all over the Ohio Valley right now. So
Yeah.
it's very important on a cold day. Too.
Hey, next Friday, I think we're going to break out an old game. We haven't played it in a while.
Uh-oh.
Two Lions in Florida, guys.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I've been putting it together this week. I'm excited for Friday.
Would that be Friday the 8th?
We had to have Mike Florio play that with us.
yeah.
I think he would enjoy that.
I
Actually,
think he would.
Maybe we will.
We should play a game with him.
I'll see what I can do with him. Maybe we'll do something.
See how long he can.
Would that be? Would that be Friday the 8th? Or breaking out 2 Lies and a Florida Guy?
Yeah, why not?
Well, guess who that is a massive birthday that day. Massive. You guys want me to tell you now?
No.
December the 8th?
Save it.
Oh my goodness. Maybe the biggest. This guy's probably the most popular guy in the Ohio Valley.
Champ?
Dan?
Champ.
No, Champ's not till February, and I would have guessed him, but I knew his birthday.
Well, we'll save it, but just
Most popular
you
guy
better
in the Ohio
you better get a birthday cake, guys. I'll tell you that.
Chocolate or vanilla?
I don't think he would care.
Oh, it's a he.
No, and
Okay.
there's a chance that if I know who you're talking about right now, there's a chance he doesn't like cake.
Well,
Most popular
he
guy in
may
Ohio
love
Valley.
cake.
It's
This
not
guy
the-
may
definitely not the mayor. Sorry, Glenn.
I don't know. I like Mayor. He's
No,
great.
I didn't say I didn't like him, but I'd say he's not the most popular. I mean,
Well,
I wouldn't want to be
Well-
popular.
we know
as a
this. We
politician.
know this individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out on the 8th.
Yeah,
I guess
this
we'll
is
find
big.
out. Wow.
This is big.
I'm excited.
Big.
Moondog.
Bringing a gift card. I just don't know who to sign it to.
Yeah.
Well, just
Okay.
hold on. Well, maybe I'll give you a clue every show. One clue.
All right, count it down. It'll be like the 12 Days of Christmas. Can't wait.
He's got an
Hey.
elbow on his right arm.
Oh wait, is that short, tall, skinny, fat guy?
And a
Real
hook on his
real
left
tall,
hand.
short guy.
All right, here, real quick, I
2
want to
left
add
feet.
a quick little new segment to our docket. It's the word of the day.
Oh,
The word of the day. The word of the day is kinetic. Kinetic. Can anyone use the word kinetic in a sentence?
well, I know it can pertain to energy.
And this is Merriam-Webster. So there are all other words of the day, but this word is kinetic.
My pen has kinetic energy when I'm pressing the button.
Kinetic.
Yes.
Kinetic.
Kinetic has several meanings that all have to do with movement.
Yeah.
In physics, kinetic means of or relating to the motion of material bodies and the forces associated with them. Kinetic energy, for example, is energy associated with motion. More generally, kinetic can be used synonymously with active and lively, as well as dynamic and energizing. And kinetic art is art that has mechanical parts which can be set in motion, such as a sculpture or an assemblage.
Thank
What were
you.
those Legos called, Job? Lego
Kinetics.
Kinetics, is that what it was?
That was.
Those are so
Yeah,
cool.
the
The
ones
word-
that moved and stuff. Yeah.
That was the word of the day.
That was really
Just don't ask us to. Well, I could probably.
that
spell
instrument had kinetic energy as you were
It
playing
did.
it.
Was that a harp? I like your.
Yeah, it was a
good
it
harp.
was
You like
electric.
that?
It was an electric harp.
Yeah, there you
Sounds
go.
like
Xylophone.
some guy going whoop 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 whoop.
Curly.
Right.
That's yeah.
Right. Yes.
Fire at will.
Yes. So cranking it down here, boys. Now 5 minutes left. What's
Yeah, we got 5 minutes left.
What's-
We're gonna do 2-minute limit. This is.
Oh, hey Matt.
yeah.
We went. Oh, okay. Never mind. We went. We already did it. Never mind.
Cools. If you don't know what
Already did
2 minute limit is, if you look at our rap sheet here that Matt makes every week, we're gonna go for 2 minutes on each one of these news stories, and after every 2 minutes, you'll hear ding dong.
Move along.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. We're not wasting any time. This could be 2 lies in a Florida guy. Florida high school principal reassigned. Top officials at a Florida high school, including the principal, have been reassigned as the county investigates whether they allowed a transgender athlete to play on the girls' volleyball team, which is a violation of Florida law. Monarch High School, and this is in South Florida, I think Broward County. Monarch High School principal James Cecil, assistant principal Kenneth May, athletic director Dion Hester, and volleyball coach Jessica Norton were all moved to non-school sites. Now, that's an interesting term right there. On Monday, according to News 7 in Miami, the probe was launched to determine whether a biological male who's in the process of transitioning into a female was allowed to play for the varsity volleyball team. Broward County spokesman John Sullivan released a statement which said that the staff members have been reassigned pending the outcome of the investigation.
What is a non-school site?
That's what I said. It's like a black site. Like
Just
they're getting
anywhere
like
but-
waterboarded in there or
So-
something.
so
I don't know, but like,
Guantanamo Bay.
yeah, right. To
So
me, don't
reassign-
reassign people. Like I get it. They should just be suspended pending investigation. If they're guilty, they get fired. If they're not, they don't get reassigned.
So-
I mean, you get fired from your job, you don't get well, unless you're. I don't even want to say, but the church they did a lot of that reassigning. That didn't work out very good.
That's so crazy to me.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you got? I mean, we talked about it on the show before. I mean, you're taking opportunities away from young ladies.
Yeah.
I just think it's wrong.
That is wrong. It's
I
very
think
wrong.
there should be. Well, the problem is that there's not enough of the demographic to make a whole new sport of like a
what
whole
I
new
was kinda thinking
subcategory.
of.
Like there should be men's, women's, and then trans athletes. in
I don't
sports.
disagree with that.
But I don't think there's enough to fill that
not quite
roster,
yet.
of course. But
Hey,
Maybe
Joe,
one day.
I got one here. It's not even on the board, but I think it's really important.
Please.
Matt and I were talking about it. What is the mystery dog illness? Dogs with this mystery illness usually have coughing, sneezing, eye or nose discharge, and are abnormally tired and do not test positive for any common causes of canine respiratory illnesses. So there's this, we talked about it yesterday. I think
It's a
you brought it up.
bacteria, right?
yeah.
It's not a canine COVID.
Yes, but it can be deadly, as Job said yesterday. So, folks out there listening, keep an eye on your dog if you have a dog for coughing. I guess that would be probably the biggest.
Is your guys' dogs ever? You guys all got dogs. Have they ever had coughs like? I mean,
No,
I've heard
no.
dogs on shows cough.
No.
No, knock on wood.
I wonder if
she's
Toby's
never-
got a cough. Chris's dog. Hopefully not.
Our red flag for ours would be abnormally tired because she's always on the move. So, folks out there, I don't know what the illness is even called yet. I don't think it's
They don't
even
have a
been
name for
named
it.
yet. So keep an eye on your dog, especially in this cold weather, for coughing, sneezing, eye or nose discharge, and are abnormally tired.
Here, Matt, this one is just incredible. I can't believe that this is actually on this, like, a news story. 440-pound Italian man who viciously knifed his girlfriend to death during an argument over breadcrumbs in his bed has been freed from prison after courts ruled that the high-calorie prison diet he was being served could kill him.
It's incredible.
Dimitri Fricano, 35, of Biella, brutally slaughtered his 25-year-old girlfriend, Erica Preti, stabbing her over 57 times after she scolded him for leaving too many crumbs in their hotel bed. At the time of the murder, Fricano tipped the scales at 260 and was sentenced to 30 years in prison to 2020, but didn't begin serving his life sentence due to COVID-19 until April of 2022. Over the past year, the inmate has ballooned to 440 pounds and released on medical grounds after doctors said he was at risk of cardiovascular disease. Good, let him die.
Yeah, exactly. That was what my thoughts were. He savagely
Wait.
stabbed this woman.
Wait a
and
second.
they're worried about his health.
So he went to prison at 260 and is at 440. He gained almost 200
Say the
pounds.
Italians too much linguine in the prison.
Not much food in prison.
That's
That's
a good question.
incredible.
Maybe the
I
only
gotta look
person
this
ever
up.
gained weight in
Too
prison.
much linguine in the prisons. Wow. Wow.
I'm looking up Italian prison food.
Jarrett wants to start serving a
This
sentence.
is incredible.
Oh, Jarrett, you like Italian. Job would
I
not.
do.
Like
I
it.
love
If he had to
Italian
eat-
food.
Job had to eat spaghetti and meatballs every day.
My
in
first-
prison, he'd hate it.
At first, I thought he was 440 pounds off ripped, and my first thought was, how couldn't she outrun him? But
And he
That's
probably
a good
bludgeoned
point.
her.
He probably
and-
fell on her.
Yikes.
I can't find Italian prison food.
All right, we got time for one more, probably, if you guys want.
Yeah,
we got to
we're
wrap.
ready.
We got to roll. We
Okay.
got 30
We're done?
seconds.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
if you
guess
were
we
wondering,
are.
there's a rat plague that hit an Australian coast.
The rats in coastal Australia are
Remind
disgusting.
everybody about Friday, Matt.
Stay out of there. Yep, Friday, Nailing It Down with Isaac Basinger. We'll have that 2:35 p.m. right here on the Watchdog. And we got Mike Florio in studio, 1:35 on Friday afternoon. It's our Friday sports show. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors, all of our friends and listeners, and a special thanks to IC Cab for sponsoring the final hour of the show. It's the Pine Room on the Watchdog on a Tuesday. We'll see you back here in the warm studio on Friday. Be safe.
Nation.